Hey Matadors, this is Mrs. Walker. This video reviews how to solve one-step multiplication and division equations. Just like in adding and subtraction equations, first we must isolate the variable on one side of the equation by itself. To do this, we use inverse operations. So if the equation asks us to multiply, we are going to instead divide. And if it's a division equation, we're going to multiply instead. So our first example is 3x equals 27. This is a multiplication equation since the coefficient is right next to the variable. Instead of multiplying, we're going to divide. So we divide both sides by 3 to keep our equation equal. 3 divided by 3 is 1x. We do not have to write the 1, we just have 1x isolated by itself. On the right side of the equation, we divide 3 into 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. So x should be equal to 9, but we always want to check our calculations. When checking, our first step is to rewrite the equation. Then we substitute the number we think x is in for x. 3 times 9 equals 27. 3 times 9 is 27, so the answer is x equals 9. Let's try a couple more examples. 4y equals 52. This is again a multiplication equation. Instead of multiplying, we use the inverse, which is dividing. So we divide both sides of the equation by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1y. We do not need to write the y, we just have 1y. The other side of the equation is 52 divided by 4. We can do long division on the side. 4 times 1 would be 4. Subtract, bring down our 2. 4 times 3 would be 12. So y should be equal to 13. But we always want to check and make sure we're doing our calculations correct. 4y equals 52. We substitute 13 in for y because we think that y is 13 is what y should be. So 4 times 13 should be 52. So I'm going to multiply 13 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 3 times 14 is 52, so that proved that y is equal to 13. Let's try a division equation. M over 4 equals 12. So the opposite of division is multiplication. But this right here looks very much like a fraction. If we multiply 4 by both sides of the equation, it's hard to multiply a fraction times a whole number. So we want to put our whole number over 1 to multiply. 4 times m is 4m. 1 times 4 is 4. 12 times 4 is 48. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so m should be equal to 48. But again, we always want to check our work. So we're going to rewrite our original equation, m over 4 equals 48. We think that m is equal to 48, so we're going to substitute 48 in for m. Oh, Mrs. Walker wrote the wrong number right here. The original answer was 12. So we're going to divide 4 into 48. 48 divided by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Bring down the 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So 48 divided by 4 is 12. So m is equal to 48. Let's do one more division equation. X over 3 equals 9. The inverse of division in this problem is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. So 3 times x over 3, we can just imagine it's 3 over 1. So these two are going to cancel out and become 1. So x is going to be by itself. And 9 times 3 is going to be 27. So we think that x is equal to 27. And we're going to again check our work. So we rewrite the equation x over 3 equals 9. We think that x is 27, so we're going to substitute 27 in for x. So we get 27 over 3 equals 9. We divide 3 into 27, and it is 9. So x is equal to 27. Again, in 7th grade, we also use integers in our one-step equations. So let's go over multiplication and division integer rules. So when the signs are the same for the factors, so the factors have the same signs, the answer is going to be positive. And when the factors have different signs, then the answer is going to be negative. So if I have negative 3 times negative 5, I'm going to have same signs, so the answer is going to be positive 15. If I have 2 times 4, they're both positives, the signs are the same, so I'm going to have positive 8. If I have negative 2 times 6, the signs are different, so it's going to be negative 12. If I have 3 times negative 7, the signs are different. Again, the answer is going to be negative. 3 times 7 is 21. So let's use our integer rules in our one-step equations. So our first equation is negative 5y equals 95. This is a multiplication equation, so the inverse of multiplying would be to divide. The coefficient here is negative 5, so we're going to divide by negative 5 on both sides. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1y. On the other side, I need to divide 95 by negative 5. It goes in 1 time, 5. Bring down my 5. It goes in 9 times. So y is equal to negative 19 because we divided a positive 95 by a negative 5. So in this case, we want to make sure that we check our work. So our first step is to rewrite the original equation. Negative 5y equals 95. We think that y is equal to negative 19. So we're going to substitute negative 19 in for y. And we're hoping to get 95 for an answer. So we multiply negative 19 times negative 5. A negative times a negative is a positive because the signs are the same. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So the answer is 95. So our original answer of y equals negative 19 is correct. Let's try a division equation. W divided by negative 2 equals 46. This is a division equation. The inverse of dividing would be to multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by negative 2. So 46 times negative 2, oh, not 42, 46. 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1 is 92. A negative times a positive is a negative. Okay, these is like negative 2 over 1. These two are going to divide. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1w. So w should be equal to negative 92. But let's go ahead and check our calculations. W over negative 2 equals 46. We think the answer is w is equal to negative 92. So we're going to substitute negative 92 in for w, divide it by negative 2, and hopefully get 46. Well, so far we're on the right track because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Now we've got to divide 92 by 2. 2 into 8 goes 4 times. 4 times 8. 4 times 2 is 8. We subtract, we get 1. Bring down our 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So we did get 46. So we go back and w is equal to negative 92. Let's try one more equation. one more multiplication, and one more division equation. 7q is equal to negative 175, and x over 5 is equal to negative 27.3. Go ahead and stop the video and work out both these problems by yourself. 7q equals negative 175 is a multiplication equation, so we do the inverse, which is dividing. We divide both sides of the equation by 7 to keep it equal. 7 divided by 7 is going to be 1q, so we just write down q. On the other side, we need to divide negative 175 by 7. So 7 into 175. 7 goes into 17 two times. 2 times 7 is 14. We subtract and we get 35. 7 times 5 is 35. So the number we get is 25. But we have to look at the signs. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. So we think our answer is q equals negative 25. But of course, we need to check our work. So we rewrite the original equation, 7q equals negative 175. We think q is equal to negative 25, so we substitute negative 25 in for q, and we're hoping to get negative 175. So we multiply 25 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. A negative times a positive, different signs, is going to be a negative number. So q is equal to negative 25. Last problem is a division problem. The opposite of dividing would be to multiply both sides of the equation by positive 5. This side of the equation becomes 1x. And the other side, we have to multiply negative 27.3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, carry the 1. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1 is 36. Carry the 3. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. We cannot forget our one place for our decimal point. And a negative times a positive is always going to be a negative number. So we think that x is equal to negative 136.5. But we need to check our problem. So first step in checking our problem is rewriting our equation. X over 5 equals negative 27.3. So we substitute negative 136.5 in for x. We divide by 5, and we're hoping to get negative 27.3. So we need to divide 136.5 by 5. 5 goes into 13 two times, and we get 10. We subtract, and we get 36. 5 times 7 gets me to 35. We subtract, we bring down the 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So I did get 27.3, and then a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So x is equal to negative 136.5.